Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing very well today and you're ready to kickstart your day with me, Maha Mukhtoom, and the wonderful Shahzad Khan. Assalamu alaikum, Shahzad. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam. I'm absolutely perfect. It makes me feel great when you really get to know that it's Friday today. So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you're fine as well. Everybody who's tuned into PTV Global as well and the family of PTV World.
Exactly. And today, you know, we don't normally say thank God it's Friday because obviously every day we're excited to talk to you guys and share information. And we thank God that we have something to wake up for in the morning. However, it's been a very long week. I mean, it just seems like...
This time it was like 8 days almost.
It felt like it. But anyway, we've had very interesting shows for you this week. We've been trying to show you different things from all walks of life. We've had... Now I can't remember what kind of shows we've had.
Okay, yesterday we were talking about youngsters as well,
exactly.
And then we were there to disseminate information. But then at the same time, you know, earlier, before we got started, I was telling Maha that there has been a transition in the mindset as well. And then transition is all about that earlier, when we were growing up, you know, when we were young, our parents used to say that if you're not going to get a good degree, if you're not going to get good marks, you will never ever get a good job.
Yes.
But now the transition is leading towards a different mindset, which is...
people are becoming, instead of going for jobs or employees, they want to become employers and leaders. And within a population of over 103 million people under the age of 30, you know, that's a big scope. It's a lot of people to employ. It's a lot of jobs to create. So people are taking their own initiative.
Exactly. And then at the same time, for all those people, you know, who are coming up with these early startup ideas, now the only thing which they lack is finances. And now, thank God to one of the very finest universities over here in Pakistan, I'll name it, the name is NUST as well. They came up with this idea of introducing incubators. And, you know, they pick up on business models and which they think are going to have some impact on the society or are going to generate money, and then they basically just lend it to their students. So if you make it to NUST, that's great. Otherwise, you can go to HEC because they have this setup too as well.
Exactly. And everyone is trying to, you know, accommodate the youngsters. I'm not going to use the other word for them. Because at the end of the day, you know, the previous generation, we were part of that. You know, we were told you study, you get a good job. But now everyone else is now going towards business and entrepreneurship.
And that's what we are doing today. So today, and it is obviously our sole responsibility to highlight all those people who've taken such great initiatives at such young age. So today what we have done is that we have got people who are introducing one of their business models with the name of Cargar.
Which you probably heard because it's all over social media and it's been in the newspapers as well.
Exactly. So now what we're going to do is that we are not going to tell you what the business model is all about, because we have the people behind this idea.
Exactly. And, you know, we're right on the mark this time. We're going to strike while the iron's hot. So we have been joined by Muhammad Ali, who is the Chief Technology Officer for Cargar. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm fine. How are you?
It's so good to have you.
Yes, really excited to have you guys because I was reading about you guys the other day as well. Besides Muhammad Ali, we've been joined by Farhan Ahmed, who is the CEO of Cargar and actually came up with the idea. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Are you looking for business partners?
Definitely.
Definitely. Okay, that's fine.
We'll talk about that afterwards. Besides Farhan, we've been joined by Adnan Faisal, who is the head of Technology Incubation Center at NUST. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming over as well with these young lads. I mean, I was just saying, the pleasure is all ours. Go ahead.
Sorry, I've got the first question. So I want to start with Farhan. Start from the beginning. Where did you come up with this idea? Because I know you traveled and got this idea.
Yeah, exactly. So about the start of this idea, I was in Indonesia last year as exchange student. We have an organization here with the name of Isaac. So through them, I went to Indonesia. I was there as a student. So obviously, being in a different country, managing things at your own, you don't have a transport. Obviously, I have to travel on daily basis. So I was looking for the options. Obviously, they had car taxis, but that was like, obviously being student, that was expensive for me.
Thank God you weren't in New York.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So like they had like with the name of, they had a service with the name of Gojek, and like I was.
What's the name of the service?
Yeah, Gojek.
Gojek.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a taxi service, but it's based on motorbikes.
Okay.
So there I realized that this is the thing that we need to have here. We have students here who have to travel on this daily basis. Then we have a working community. They obviously have to travel. So like we are sitting here in Islamabad. right? So we don't really have the cheap options. We have the car taxis. So what about the people who have to travel on the daily basis, like student and working community?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why we came up with this idea.
What is this idea now? Okay,
Yeah,
let's talk
okay,
about this.
About the idea. About the idea, like it's taxi service, exactly like car taxi. People like it is like in the beginning, it is difficult to explain people why like you are talking about the taxi and why you are associating with a motorbike. So like this is a new concept here. So what it is a motorbike with a driver. They come, they pick you exactly like car taxi, but the difference is obviously it's economical.
Okay, and you're sitting on the back of the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when are we getting started with it?
We have already started this.
You've
In
already
August you started, right?
On like
On the 22nd.
exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful. So now, talking about, okay, now tell us, Muhammad Ali, we're going to talk more about the
Yeah.
whole concept of it, and we'll get you involved in the conversation in a moment. But Muhammad Ali, tell us, what is the Chief Technology Officer within Cargar? What is your role? What are you doing?
Well, basically, I am heading all the technological part. Basically, technology is the central part of this
Business
whole
model.
endeavor.
Okay.
So, getting the website up and running and getting the mobile applications up and running and shipping it to the users, this is my part of job.
Okay, now what is the technology that you guys are using? So what is it?
Basically, we are giving the mobile applications just like every other car taxi service. So the user can book a ride, he can see where is he going, what is his basically trajectory on the map.
Okay.
So this is how it is going to work.
Okay, wonderful.
And the web application users will be given the facility to book a ride on the web application as well.
Okay, but then when you guys came up with this idea, did you guys consider, for example, when you go to London, that every other bank has got these cycle stands outside, which and you can actually rent those bicycles, go to the next spot, park it over there, and then go back home. What did you really consider this idea as well? Because I think this will save you much amount of money, because there won't be any drivers. But at the same time, the losses is, or will be probably, that I take bike
And you never
alongside
go
me,
back.
and I never go back. Yeah.
Did
you think about it?
No, actually, this was not the part of the plan.
Yeah.
The thing is, we like motorbike taxi is like it's solving so many problems. We are not only targeting the student community, we are targeting the working community who have to be in their office at like 8:30, 9 in the morning. So motorbike taxi is not just about economy, it's about efficiency.
Okay.
You can easily pass through like traffic with the motorbike taxi. You can like with the bicycle, just imagine you have to travel, let's say 10 kilometers. It is going to take a lot of time.
So in which cities are you guys operational right now?
We have started from here, Islamabad, but we are planning, we provide ride to the Rawalpindi.
But where did you
city
get
as-
traffic jams in Islamabad?
Islamabad, every market has its own aspects. You like about Islamabad, we are providing the economical service. If we talk about Rawalpindi, there are options like cheap options like rickshaw. They have chingchi stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there comes the traffic aspect. So every market has its own dynamic.
And it's really good that you're keeping all these aspects in
Yeah,
mind when
exactly.
you look at it. That's wonderful. But we're going to come back and discuss more about the safety rules and the advantages and
Definitely.
disadvantages. But I want to bring Adnan into the conversation. So you guys supported them. Why did you feel that this was a venture that you wanted to actually, these students have a good idea, this is something that is feasible for Pakistan?
And what changes did you make to their business model when they initially came to you?
Right. So in any business, the team is very important, and then the execution capability is important. I think in their very initial proposition, the fact that they stated that they're going to start with 7 to 8 of their own motorbikes, their own service to kind of fine tune the whole model,
Yeah.
the quality aspect of it. So that was that reflected the level of commitment of the team and the belief in the idea. We then, when we had, this brainstorming session and some kind of mentoring, I would say, we came up with a unique angle which in a way makes the model an automatically replicable, model, and so the scale goes, to a significant level, and that is, going beyond owning the motorcycle themselves to letting a lot of people, invest in it as a business. So when their app is, up and running, and people who are on a particular route, they can pick up another person, and just like an Uber model, that basically provides opportunities to unemployed people to invest, say, 35,000 rupees in a motorbike and say start earning 20,000 a month on a, say, 10-hour work basis.
So you saw as an actual concept that was workable and feasible in Pakistan.
Exactly, and I think it replicates, so it could moving from 8 to 800 is highly possible for
Okay,
them.
great.
So that means that everybody gets to be the business partner as well.
Yes.
What if there are investors out there who do not want to ride the bike themselves, but they are interested in purchasing bikes and giving it to them? Will it work?
Yeah, definitely. It's like kind of model we are, like the thing is there are businesses who are providing opportunities to the people who have cars to like invest their cars and invest their money. But what about the majority of Pakistan? Our majority of Pakistan is not, they can't really afford a car. This is a fact. So what about those people? So we are actually providing this as a business opportunity to a common man who can invest 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 to a business. We are actually hiring the drivers. We are providing opportunity to the people to invest their own bikes.
Great.
So like we actually.
So then,
yeah.
okay, we will definitely move on to where the hiring aspect is and then how you're ensuring safety and security. But why Cargar? Why not biker?
Cargar, like it's.
What does it stand for?
Yeah, it
It's
is
from
an,
Karigar, I think.
no, it's an Urdu word. Cargar. Cargar means useful.
Useful.
It's
Okay.
it's cargar.
It's dual
then
meaning.
yeah, it's dual. Then it is exact like CRGR. It's a Spanish word which means to pick up, to lift. Like it has, it is.
That's great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I mean,
Wonderful.
that's pretty much cool. Yeah, you don't do this again.
Okay, so in regards to, okay, so that's now I've learned a new Urdu word and a Spanish word. Wonderful.
And an Angrezi one as well.
Yeah, okay. Now going forward, okay, so now let's talk about the nuts and bolts of this whole operation. Now you're in Pakistan, you're in Islamabad, so you say you're targeting the students, the working community that can't afford cars, etc. But do you have male and female drivers? How is it just for men? How does it work within this cultural setting?
Because to sit on a bike for a lady, she needs to hold the guy as well. I mean, so how are you making it feasible for the women out there?
Obviously.
Because our women are very reluctant of touching
We
other.
get it. You made your point.
So the thing is that like it is for now, it is obviously for the male community. We are actually thinking in this dimension that we introduce it for the female community. But obviously these conventional Honda 70s and stuff like that, it is not convenient for a female to drive that.
Okay.
So there, if I go back to that Indonesia thing, every second, third girl has her own motorbike.
Okay.
And they are actually scooties. So it's very comfortable for a female to drive scooty.
Okay.
I'm actually in contact with a person in Karachi who imports scooties. So we are actually looking into this thing. But then
So right
obviously-
now it's catering to the male population.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
For now it's for the male.
Okay.
No, no,
Now-
but I think you shouldn't actually say that because of
Well,
the
it is,
fact
technically.
that there are people, I mean, it depends on them, whether they want to go buy a bike, whether they want to go buy a car. So it's not necessary for you to say that it's for men or women.
No, but it is right now. Technically,
Yeah.
it cannot be used by women
Obviously,
because obviously the
considering our cultural
Exactly.
But
aspects.
you can add an extra bogie to the motorbike as well.
Yeah.
I think that can be a solution.
Now I
to
would
it.
like to add something. Would you like to say something to this?
Yeah, so I think they've been covered very well in press, and a number of comments, sort of talking about the bogey aspect, have come up. I think that is for the execution team to sort of finally decide on. But I believe if Cargar enables the scooty revolution to come to Pakistan and enable women to become independent economically. That would be maybe even a bigger contribution than the employment that it generates.
That too electric bikes. I think that'll be so cool.
Exactly.
Okay. Now I want to bring Muhammad Ali into the conversation. You haven't said something for a while. Now, in regards to you doing the website, you're doing all the media, and you're managing social media as well, correct? Yeah. Okay. Well, right now you are because there's no one else here to represent that. What has the feedback been? Because you have been covered a lot in the press. You are all over social media. What are the youth saying to you right now? Are they happy? Are they excited?
Yeah, people are pretty excited, of course. We have the mixture of comments like, why are you not catering the female community?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people from the big cities like Karachi and Lahore. They are continuously asking, when are you coming to Karachi and Lahore?
Going to
Okay,
Karachi
cool.
will be like a dream come true.
Okay, so that's amazing. Now I want to change. I'm going to move on and talk about the safety aspect.
Yeah,
as
that's
well,
where I
'cause
wanted to move on. But before I get started, so is Cargar providing their passenger with a helmet?
Yeah,
Or
this
you
is the
guys?
point I definitely want to highlight.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So let's talk about this. So what are you doing? What are the benefits and the pros and the safety regulations and
Which you guys
precautions you're
follow.
taking?
Yeah. So for the first time in Pakistan, we are introducing, rather like we are trying to make it mandatory, but we are having some resistance because people are not actually like habitual of wearing helmet while sitting behind the rider. So we offer them helmets. Our rider always have a spare helmet with them.
Okay.
So they always offer them. So the thing is, we are introducing this concept. We are making the trends here in Pakistan. So from our side, we are taking all the possible precautionary measures. You will never see our driver without a helmet. You will never see our driver breaking any traffic law. We are making that sure.
Oh, excellent. That's
Yeah,
so good.
exactly.
Now, this is the problem with the motorcyclists. I've been asking to do a traffic show for a very long time. Because when I go on the road, I have severe road rage now. And
Yeah.
motorcyclists do not help me at all. Because they're zooming in and out. And the only crashes I've had is because of motorcyclists. And that's, most of my friends have had the same experience. How are you ensuring that, first of all, these guys are trained, they've got the legal documents, and are you doing a security check and all these things?
Definitely. So
Because you can't have cameras on them all the time.
obviously.
Because most of the time, street crimes do take place and they do it on motorbikes.
Yeah.
Because it's easier.
So coming towards how we are making sure about their background and stuff like that. So we interviewed every single driver we have on board. And the thing is that the driver without, first of all, people were calling, people were applying. A driver without a license was not even invited for the interview.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have several other criterias. Every driver has a minimum level of education. We looked at several aspects: their dealing, their way of communication, their personality, everything. It is a very long procedure. I won't go into the details.
I
But
mean, that's great. You guys did a beautiful job, a wonderful job, and the
Potentially
execution is well done as
revolutionary.
well.
Yeah.
But then all of these questions which we are asking and which might seem a bit offensive or a bit negative to you is because of the fact so that people could actually clear their
Yeah.
mind.
obviously,
Because these are all of those questions. For example, if I'm supposed to go on that bike, I'll have these questions in my head.
Definitely.
So, the majority will actually get to know that this is what's happening, and you guys have indeed done a great job. But sir, moving on to you now. So then how much of investment did it initially take, and then what were your conditions that, okay, if you guys do this in this particular period of time, this is what we're going to do, or probably we're going to get more investors for you, because there are other people, other students whom you are helping with your incubation center, right?
Right. So we have around 30 tech startups, and we have learned that that more than finances is the enabling environment, which is very important for a startup to succeed. So firstly, we provide a plug-and-play work environment for them. So the day they wanted to start up, they just had to move into an office with everything taken care of, from utilities, internet to all the other physical infrastructure facilities. So that plug-and-play aspect is very important. Secondly, for startups, it's very difficult to attract quality HR. Again, a quality university environment, sort of provides flexible arrangements from internships to, marketing technologists, all those people. Thirdly, we also, then start connecting them with related business, linkages, and as well as, investor linkages. I think that stage has not yet come. They had their own, seed capital to start from.
Great.
So they started, from some basic investment. And the beauty of their model is also the fact that, their bikes have started earning from them, right away.
That's
So their
great.
operational expenditure is going to be supported.
So
that
the
way.
free
So the
spending.
university's like, thank goodness, like our investment is making some return.
So we're going to go for breakfast after this,
Yeah,
right? Free
okay.
spending.
So now we're gonna go for a short break, and when you come back, we're gonna shake these guys up a bit and get some energy out of them. But what they're doing is a great initiative. It's potentially, can change a lot of lives for a lot of people, and we're going to talk about that.
Exactly, and then we'll ask them whether they are planning to expand to other cities as well or countries, and then we'll ask about the other 30 startups which tech is moving on with.
Stay
Let's
tuned.
take a break. Good morning.
Welcome back, everyone. And before the break, we were discussing, we were in conversation with the people who have come up with the concept of Cargar. And for all the people who are in touch with me, social media, and read the newspapers and watch the news, they have been everywhere. They have been everywhere.
Exactly.
And actually, you know, all the questions that we've been asking till now were the questions that when I looked at it and when Shazad looked at it, it's like, well, what is the safety? What are the technology? How are they ensuring, you know, women will be able to ride, et cetera, et cetera. So now going forward, guys, I've forgotten my question. We just discussed it.
It's
No,
all
but,
right.
but going forward, I want to bring Mohammed Ali into the conversation because the technology aspect is very interesting because at the end of the day, everyone wants to be safe and you don't want to be, you know, supposed to go to point B, but you don't want to end up in point C or D. Now, how are you tracking? Because you said that you make sure they're not going to break any traffic lights, they're going to abide by the road rules. How?
Well, there are 2 or 3 different aspects that we look up to. First is that basically the customer is tracked while having a journey. And we calculate how much distance is he covering so that we can ensure that he is under 60 kilometers per hour on a highway.
Okay.
So this is the first aspect. Second is we have a regular customer feedback mechanism so that the customer can tell us about anything that has happened to him.
Okay.
So we take a check on it, and also customer gives a rating to the driver after every journey.
Great.
And
okay.
if the rating drops, average rating drops below 3.5, we take an action.
Wonderful.
What action is that?
So basically we investigate, we look into the matter, why the ratings are low. We ask the customers who have basically taken a ride from that rider so that they could recall why they have basically given the low rating to him.
Wonderful.
Okay, but can you even track your bikes where they are at that particular point of time?
Yes. We can track it on a big map. So
they've got the trackers on them, so you
Yeah,
can see exactly what route,
absolutely.
and so that's more economical as well. So you can.
Yeah.
Excellent. You guys are keeping it's really, really thorough. Now, the thing is, this is on a small scale. You guys, you know, you have enough people to monitor the complaints and the customer feedback, but you guys, and I'm sure not, you know, your university who's invested in you wants you to think big. So, and Shazad mentioned about you going to other cities, but how are you going to manage that? Because you're aiming big, so one day will be millions of people using this. How are you going to make sure that the quality stays the same, that each individual who made a complaint, because recently I've had a big company who's really messed me up with my water supply, and you know, 7 days I waited for the water. No one cares. How are you going to ensure that people care and they get heard?
Yeah, exactly. So about the managing this thing, expansion, we are obviously providing opportunity to everyone to come join us, but it is not open like you have got a bike, just come join us. We obviously have criteria. You have to fulfill that criteria. After that, you can join us.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the customers, though. How are you going to ensure that their complaints are heard, that you are making sure that you're investigating? Because when
I mean,
you...
if the SOP is going to stay the same, I think the standards are going to stay the same as well. So if you guys are going to go party just because of the fact that you're millionaires now and forget about the service which you guys have offered, I think that's where it goes down. But now on another note, on another level, for all those people who do not know about Cargar, you guys are even interested in making it in a, or probably reshaping it eventually, just like Uber is.
Yeah.
So how are you guys planning on that? I think that's a question which I will pose to you.
Well, basically, when it comes to customer complaints, we already have 2 people who are taking the calls and taking the reviews, obviously. And when this is going to expand, obviously, so we are looking forward to establish a call center so that we can look up to the customer and take their complaints. We have an active social media team who is actively answering the customers' reviews and their...
No, that's great. What I'm asking
you
is
also might
that you
also.
wanted to reshape this model a bit once you guys are successful, and you guys wanted to make it a business model which looks like Uber.
Yeah.
That, for example, if I'm going somewhere, you know, somebody comes on my app and, you know, I have to drop somebody, it's on my way, I'll pick them up and drop them somewhere, right? This is what you guys are planning to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what you guys sent me. Okay. How are you planning on doing that in a country like us where, you know, there are problems, where there is street crime, where there is terrorism, we're still fighting against it? Don't you think it will be too dangerous?
Well,
right
there
now?
are criteria, obviously,
Okay.
and those criteria are reshaping. So first of all, we check whether he has a driving license. This will be followed for the subscription model as well. So we see the driving license, we see if they have a criminal record. This is what we have to check when it comes to general public. And we see what is the condition of a bike. Our inspection team will inspect and see the model as well as the condition.
Okay.
So after ensuring all these aspects, and obviously the organization does matter, if he's a student, from which university he is, if he is a professional, which office or place is he working, if he is not working, there are aspects why is he not working.
I mean, and then these are the
So-
only checks you can do to ensure
Absolutely.
security,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
But you'll try, that's great. But sir, moving on to you now. What about the other 30 startups which NUS universities and incubation centers are investing on?
Right.
And how do you guys invest? Do you guys invest, or do you guys get the raw material? Do you guys invest in what they need or the services?
So primarily we invest in the material angle of you know, the whole infrastructure that they require. Secondly, you know, we invest with respect to the advisory and mentoring aspect or certain, you know, training and workshop related you know, services that we provide. And finally, networking with investors. So a lot of investors, you know, who have been visiting us and, you know, they ended up investing in the various startups. We have had many success stories. So the maturer ones, you know, I would say there's 7 of them. They had more, you know, they have valuation of more than $1 million now.
Right.
We have, you know, these under 30 kids who have, you know, like $1 million cash offers to be bought by, you know, international.
How does it
startups.
feel, though, having, you know, having these students in your university, then actually supporting them and then them getting the recognition and actually doing something?
Yeah, so for myself personally, it's the most energetic, you know, aspect of my job. You know, this is
Exactly.
what I love the most, interacting with them. But what is very interesting is, you know, the youth is so promising. So for example, this guy who was, I guess, 25, and his startup, you know, he offered $1.3 million, you know, just 2 months back, and he's not selling. He already has now a foundation which supports around, I would say, 56 you know, kids of the you know, the labor working at
Okay,
NUS.
underprivileged. Okay,
So it's
great.
like, you know, they're already giving back to the society. We have another one which is now valued above $10 million. They have an office in the US already.
Valley.
And yeah, and finally, you know, we are also now at a stage whereby we are thinking of, you know, having some kind of a satellite presence over there, because the expat community, the Pakistani expat, say technologists in the Bay Area, when they come over and they see the quality of work, we had this, you know, one very successful tech entrepreneur, and he said that I had heard good things about the center, but I did not relate, I did not know that the quality would be this high. And now we're working on, sort of developing something long term.
That's
Okay, but then at the
great.
same time, this TIC, this department of yours of NUST University, is it only going to be related or being in connection with all of those students who've studied in NUST, or you guys are planning on developing your own model as well?
Yeah, so we're quite independent, in that sense, and although majority of our startups, come from NUST, however, we are open to, sort of non-NUST, and our overall philosophy is that wherever we can get the best quality entrepreneurs and ideas, from, we are going to sort of work
Wherever.
with them.
And it's so great that you are actually supporting the next generation and not, sabotaging or leading them astray or kind of, taking it away from them, which is great because I think a lot of people do like to take things away from
And then
people.
what we can promise you is that for all those people who've got better with their startups and now they're fine and they were your students, we'll be more than happy to have them on our show and let the world know about them.
That would be so great because I think this youth has got a lot of promise, and some of the startups, I think they're going to be great stories for
Exactly,
your
and we
Thank
love
you.
great stories on this show. But now coming back to Cargar, talking about the funding, we've said the university give a lot, but where did you get the seed fund from? Is that the question? Where did you get the seed fund? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Sorry, so much technical stuff.
Yeah, basically, when the idea originated, Dr. Faisal Shafayat, he basically, when Farhan told him, he loved the idea actually. I wasn't in the picture at that moment.
Okay.
So he basically agreed to give us the seed fund to kickstart this thing.
Okay.
Obviously, we did not have an office, we did not have anything. So he was the one who basically enabled us initially to get this all up and running.
And how did it feel like as a student that, okay, I'm going to move on to Farhan. How did it feel as a student with this idea where you were actually getting encouragement and support for this idea?
Yeah, definitely. Like, this is something that we should encourage because considering the trends of our country, everybody, all the parents, actually, I want to address the
Please
parents.
address.
Go ahead, look over here.
Yeah,
Not yourself
exactly.
on the television.
Parents,
on the camera.
all the parents of
Yeah.
Pakistan. The thing is, everybody wants their kids to be doctors, engineers. They think this is respectful. They will make good money out of it. The thing is, there is a lot happening in the world. There is, if just talking about the business aspect, there is a lot of potential. Just like, if I talk about myself, I graduated in June, and I started this thing, and I have already created a good amount of jobs.
18,
Yeah,
around 18
exactly.
jobs.
Yeah,
I haven't created any jobs and I'm way older than you.
Yeah.
so-
I mean, but
Yeah.
imagine that there are kids out there who have actually got a tandoor to themselves, non-stop people.
Exactly.
I mean, they're going to get married. Don't worry. Nobody's going to
It will
say that they're
happen,
non-money
exactly.
or anything other than that.
Okay.
So the evolution is there.
I have
yeah?
one last question because we are running really short of time. So you weren't on the initial, when Farhan came up with the idea, you weren't there in
Yeah.
the picture. How did you all come together? I'll ask you, Mohammed Ali.
Well, I was master's student and I was basically taught by Sir Faisal. So I did a few of his projects and he discussed this idea. He said something excellent is brewing up. Why won't you join?
Great.
I was working at a multinational, set job, everything, career path planned, 2 saal mein shadi. So when I basically saw the idea, I felt that there is life in it. It can be realized and it is going to be the next big thing.
Okay.
So I jumped in, I burned all the ships.
Okay, and you
And,
blew up all the bridges.
yeah.
And that's how you take
And
risk as well.
wonderful.
Yeah.
But and also I want to ask Farhan one last question. How many people are there within the organization, the hierarchy set up, like in partners, or are you just sole and then you're just employing people?
No, actually, we are 2 co-founders, me and Dr. Faisal Shafayat.
Okay, great.
He is actually doing all the strategies. I am managing things. Then we have technical officer, Sir Adnan Faisal. He is acting as our mentor. Then we have development team. We have business side. We have a complete hierarchy.
I would like to
Wonderful.
have Sir Adnan's job, man. You get to be partners with every other business.
Yeah, like you don't get the funding unless you give
Yeah,
me some shares,
That's great.
dude.
Okay, so now for example, if since I have to go back home as well and I do not have a car today, so how can I call Cargar?
Yeah,
How do
definitely.
we reach you guys?
Yeah, we have our Android application. You just have to go and download that. We have our web application. You can just reserve taxis over there. Otherwise, we have our call center.
Yeah,
We have
what's
our
the
number
number?
So give us a
available.
number and give us the website address
Yeah,
now.
it's anybody who wants to reserve, just go and check cargarcab.com. Otherwise, we have our contact number 0347 333 8555. You can reserve cabs over
Okay, but
there.
one last thing, that is, for example, if there's nobody at home, I do not have a car at home, I need a bit of grocery, a pack of cigarettes or something of that,
Yeah.
can they drop it to me as well and charge for that?
We are actually considering that model, but not now. We will establish this taxi thing first, then we will consider the other models.
Yeah.
Thank you
Okay,
very
great. Yeah, and you know, order food and things like that.
Yeah.
Nothing else. And that's bad for your
Because
health.
obviously the other thing is very injurious for health, but at the same time, there are too many other people who cannot step outside, and that's what they need on urgent basis.
Okay.
That's what the point was.
Okay, but okay, so that's wonderful. And for this culture, that's perfect because I'm always looking for people to deliver things. But thank you so much. And I'm going to ask you guys actually for one last message. You gave your message to the parents, but Muhammad Ali, do you have anything you'd like to say to all the viewers that are watching?
Yeah, absolutely.
Still getting married in 2 years?
No, now he's like, I'm having fun, guys.
Well, the risk factor is very important when it comes to entrepreneurship. So if you are not risking anything, if you are not on fire, you are not going to succeed. So if you are going to do it full time, risk it.
Okay.
So this is how you are going to succeed.
Great, thank you so much. And would you like to say anything to anyone who's watching?
With respect
the
to
youngsters.
risk taking.
Yeah, so I would say, you know, the successful entrepreneurs are the most you know, eligible bachelors. So I mean, do you know, sort of consider that, you know, Elon Musk, who wouldn't like to, you know, sort of be.
So now they've got
Great.
a marriage center as well.
Wonderful, great. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being here today, and best of luck. And once you evolve, and you know, let us know how you're going to incorporate the female aspect of it all. Get some female drivers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you very much, guys.
Great.
That was lovely talking to you
Great
as
talking
well.
to you.
But people out there, I mean, all we need to do is they probably support their idea because they have pulled it off for themselves and for us and for our convenience.
Exactly, and it's actually quite revolutionary to a certain degree, and it can really make a difference for a lot of people, like Shazad said. So with that, do log on to our Facebook fan page,
Which is with the name of World This Morning.
our Twitter page,
World This Morning with RG.
our Daily Motion and YouTube page,
World This Morning once again.
and the repeat is at.
11 p.m., ladies and gentlemen.
We will see you bright and early on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend.
Till the
that's
next time. 1, 2, 3.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Thank you.